From being compared to LeBron James at just 19 years old, to being hyped as the NBA's #1 pick for the 2023 draft, we're asking what the future looks like for Victor Wembanyama. All hype or nah? Victor's all praise, and for good reason. Seeing him play, you really gotta ask yourself, am I ready for this? And more importantly, is the NBA ready for this? I mean, they're right to call him an alien for his 7 feet 4 inch frame, but that's not all. Even his talents are otherworldly. He's been dubbed the top prospect by everyone else. Just how talented is the smooth 7'4" star, you ask? According to an NBA executive, Victor's a league-altering talent, not a franchise-altering talent. As the June 2023 NBA draft approaches, the French prospect's becoming the center of attention, with basketball fans enthralled by the 19-year-old, who they're calling a generational talent. Victor stunned onlookers with his skills during a 2-game exhibition showcase against Scoot Henderson's G League Ignite in October. Victor showcased his entire skill set in front of 200 NBA scouts and executives, creating his shot off the dribble, running the fast break, hitting step-back threes, finishing above the rim, and not to mention, using his 8-foot wingspan to be a terror at the rim.
He was on the JV basketball team and the varsity golf team, so a late riser is Victor Wembanyama, throws it down in transition. He went for 33 minutes. He said, well, yeah, it was a long time to play.
Solidifying his place as the NBA's top prospect. Imagine not needing to jump to land shots. That's his power. After returning to France, Victor will continue to play with French side Metropolitans 92 for at least until May. Yep, he's got no plans to end it early and get ready for the draft. Or he doesn't need to. At this age, his size and mentality can prevent players from even trying to attack. Wemby scored 37 points against the G League Ignite and blasted 7 3-pointers, most of which came off movements such as transition sprints, pick and pops, and step backs. Victor's height also gives him an unblockable jump shot. Every time he plays, you best believe he'll not only score, but give you a well-rounded brand of basketball. It's true, a player like Wemby has never been seen before. He's being compared to everyone from Kevin Durant to Rudy Gobert, making him a Gen Z Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Despite how over-the-top it all seems, league executives already think that Victor has a shot at the Hall of Fame and becoming one of the greatest players ever. Victor's physical prowess is impressive, but it's also clear how many hours the kid has spent developing and sharpening his skills. For instance, he's drastically improved his jump shooting over the past year. In previous seasons, he had periods of hot streaks, shot 31% from 3 and 68.5% from the line. And you could see that in the exhibition game. His form was much more steady, and he was comfortable making complex shots. An international scout characterized Victor as a player who can revolutionize the game, a prospect like Shaq and LeBron, someone we've never seen before. And the stats speak for themselves. Competing in the United States for the first time, Victor scored 73 points on 50% shooting in 2 games versus Ignite while representing his French team. He made 9 of his 18 3-point tries, had only 3 ball turnovers, and blocked 9 shots. The most amazing part is that those stats don't accurately reflect his performance. They don't capture the sensation of viewing the highlights and witnessing feats that seem to defy logic. And for that, teams will be scrambling to get their hands on him. You know it. And so does NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. When asked about Victor, Silver told reporters, "I know that many of our NBA teams are salivating at the prospect that perhaps through our lottery they can get him." Silver added that they should all still compete very hard next season, and it's clear that Silver's able to see things the rest of the basketball community can't. The kind of player that it'd be absurd and pointless to try and persuade teams not to tank for him. In case you're wondering about what his future team might be, I've got somewhat of an idea. Look, the Pistons have the 2nd worst record in the NBA and will have a good chance of winning the annual draft lottery. The odds of winning the lottery in May are equal for each of the bottom 3 teams in the rankings. Do you know what that could possibly mean? Together with giving Cade Cunningham the 1st overall pick in 2021, Victor would immediately boost the ceiling for the Pistons and give general manager Troy Weaver the chance to have 2 sensational talents. The Pistons' defense is ranked 29th in the NBA, and this would be the major overhaul of their dreams. Victor's averaging 21.4 points, 9.4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3.2 blocks per game. He also shoots 29.5% from three-point range on 5.4 attempts. Plus, the Pistons already have a French player who could keep him company. And speaking of players, you've got some of the biggest names noticing Victor. Players like LeBron, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Kevin Durant have all heaped accolades on him. But Victor, who's grown to be one of France's most well-known athletes, keeps a low profile. Famous athletes show up at his home games hoping to meet him. I'm talking names like Travis Scott and Mbappe. Even Michael Douglas, who was filming a movie on Benjamin Franklin, attended 2 of Victor's games and invited him on set. The 19-year-old only had one dream: to meet Magic Johnson, because he'd long admired the 5-time NBA champion's deft passing. And that was made a reality too. One NBA legend even had solid advice for the new wonder kid. When the French sensation competes in his first NBA game, LeBron James will be in his 21st season. It hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows though. Thanks to social media, Victor's faced scrutiny that James never experienced in high school. So the legend has asked Wemby to remain true to the game and work his butt off. LeBron's second piece of advice? Just have fun. And it seems like the kid's already applying that piece of advice. His idea of fun's reading a book and listening to classical music. Isn't that adorable? I almost want to save him from the craziness that's waiting for him across the pond. NBA teams are already sending spies to France to get as much information as they can about Victor, which is why there are more scouts and information gathering around him. The demands for interviews keep rolling in, but most are declined. Brands want him to advertise their products at pitch sessions, but he's only focusing on honing his skills, preventing injuries, or bad press. And even though they're excellent places to start, talent and physical abilities don't ensure success. Victor should take LeBron James's words of wisdom very seriously. After all, James has a unique insight into how players cope with NBA life after 20 seasons spent playing in the spotlight. This kid hasn't even been selected yet, but James already recognizes warning signals of his success. Which is why it's crazy to think this star made his way here almost by chance. He was initially spotted at a U11 game in Versailles. As the assistant coach on the bench, he caught the eye of Michaeljordan, the coach of the Nanterre basketball team, who was there to watch. Allard started to imagine how he must be as a player given his unusually big frame. He got his answer moments later. Victor captivated his attention. So without wasting any time, Allen called the technical director in charge of the U11 program to inform him of his recent discovery. The rest, as they say, is history. And all that hype, justified. There you have it, ladies and gents. That's what the future looks like for Victor Wembanyama. And it's not all hype.